Welcome to the Quick Time Event Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Josh, and as always, I am joined by my partner in crime, John.
Me!
The Quick Time Event Podcast is a chance for John and I to get together. Man, it's hard to talk sometimes. Each and every week. To talk about all of the nerdy things that we love. If you like what you hear, you can find us live on Twitch. My eyebrows are all messy. What the hell is up with that? Every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or on all of your favorite podcast services all across the internet shortly after the live show ends.
What just happened?
I don't know, my eyebrows, I never pay attention to my eyebrows, but I could see in the camera, like, it was like curled up, like one of those, like, when I picture the devil from like Looney Tunes, that's what it kind of looked like.
Huh.
I straightened it out though. It's all good.
Weird. All right.
This week we have a lot to get to. For like the fourth week in a row, we're going to be talking about Sony and PlayStation. Except that this time it's good stuff. So how about that?
Yeah, they listened. They finally they got caught up on our podcast and they were like, "Oh shit! All right, we got to do some stuff, guys."
See, like when we first started talking about this shit about a month ago, you were like, "Man, as a Nintendo fan, like." Now you Sony people know what it's like. And I said at that time, you know, Sony listens though. Like Sony will come out and they'll change course. And luckily they did. So we'll get to all of that here.
They took a month, but that's better than Nintendo's plan, which is just never.
I feel like this was sort of the exact same cadence that happened when Fortnite happened and then the crossplay issue. I feel like Sony came out and was like, no. And then it took them about a month, and they were like, okay.
Yeah.
But it took them a minute. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Until then, John, what have you been up to?
Oh, boy. What have I been up to? I watched 2 more movies.
2 whole movies.
2 whole-ass movies. So I saw Guardians 2. I don't know if I liked it better or worse than Guardians 1. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I just don't know how I'd rank the 2 together.
Yeah, I think I like the
story of 1 more, but I like that they already are all together and like their dynamic is set a bit more in 2.
I think I agree with that. I think I like the overall, like, I think you're right. I think the overall plot of Guardians 1 is a lot more fun.
Yes.
However, I fucking adore the character moments in Guardians 2. Like,
yeah.
That, and there are funny moments too, but like the whole, I feel like, point of that movie was like to give some characters like emotional moments, and they were able to do that within the frame of this stupid movie, basically. But
for sure.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. I do think that I like Guardians 1 better. Nightbot. Nightbot.
That's what I'm leaning towards.
Okay, first of all, Nightbot just reprimanded Cece for putting too many emotes in the chat, which is something that should never happen. First of all the emotes in the chat all the time. Give me all the emotes. Second of all, when the fuck did I install Nightbot on this channel? When did that happen? Because I have a Streamlabs chatbot. I don't remember ever installing Nightbot on this channel. Is it a mod? No.
You would know.
It's not a mod. It's not showing as a mod. But it's always showing as a user. What the
It's showing
fuck?
as a user, yeah.
Huh. Okay, Nightbot. I'm gonna have to figure out what that's about.
Ban Nightbot. Down with the bot.
Yeah, but like, oh man, there's so many great moments in Guardians 2.
Oh yeah,
the Cinderella moment I think is one of my favorite moments in the entire MCU. Mary Poppins, Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah, that was a good moment. I did also really like the like intro.
Yeah,
I forget what giant monster thing they were fighting to protect those batteries from, but like, and I forget what song it was too. Is it like Mr. Sun?
It was something like, I don't know the name of it. The soundtrack also, I feel like, is way better in Guardians 1, but there are some bangers in 2 that, like, that opening scene is so iconic.
Like it was just such a lighthearted song, and Baby Groot's just doing his thing, and it's like they almost didn't even focus on the fight at all. That was just like blurry and in the background, and I was like, okay, this is exactly what I figured would happen.
When he waves at Gamora, and Gamora's like, "Hi."
So yeah, no, I love their interactions more in 2, just because they don't have to establish the relationships. They're already there to an extent. I know that they like it happens directly after 1, so like they probably haven't been together for that long, but it was long enough. We didn't have to introduce people. So yeah, that was really good. And then I watched Homecoming, Spider-Man. Tom Holland's a good Spider-Man.
He's a pretty good Spider-Man.
He's very, very good.
He nails, like, Tobey Maguire was supposed to be in high school, but Tobey Maguire has always been 40 years old.
Yeah.
But Tom Holland, even though
Tobey Maguire was like an old college kid, maybe. That's about as much as you could get away with. He was not a high schooler.
Yeah, I feel like Andrew Garfield did that a little bit better, but yeah, Tom Holland is just...
My biggest issue with Andrew Garfield was that, like, he was too cool.
Yeah.
Like, Spider-Man is supposed to be a dork to an extent and make bad jokes, and, like, it just didn't come across. Like, he wasn't supposed to be a skater kid.
No. Outcast.
He was supposed to be on the fucking academic decathlon team or whatever. Like, that fit.
I love that they made I can't, what's his name? The bully. Yes, I love that they made Flash a fucking just nerd. Like, in this universe, Flash is just like, in every other universe, he's like this dumb like jock, like football player or whatever. But no, in this one, in the MCU, he's just a fucking academic decathlon person that rags on Peter because he's insecure with himself. My trophy.
Take care of my trophy. Don't worry about the people who are maybe gonna die.
Yeah. His character only gets better too.
That's good. I really, really liked, like, the whole time I was like, oh my god, this is where Aunt May's gonna walk in and see him, isn't it? This is where it's gonna happen. And like, I just really like the way that the movie ended. If you remember.
Yeah.
It was very good. And I really enjoy the dynamic between him and Tony Stark. They've got a really weird father-son hybrid relationship going on.
They sure do.
And I'm sure that that's going to develop exponentially.
Sure is.
If I've seen one thing on the internet about Infinity War, it's about somebody not feeling too good.
Yeah. Hold on to your butts.
We'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
But really, really good story. I love that they didn't, like, I love that they respected the viewer and the audience, and they were like, listen, we've had like 3 different Spider-Men now. You know how I got the powers. We don't need to go through that.
They just need to stop doing that. They need to stop showing us origin stories, and I think that's where DC is gonna fuck up again.
For sure.
Because we're getting that Batman movie here pretty soon. And I have no faith in them. I know they're going to show the fucking pearls falling to the ground again. And like, oh, here's Bruce Wayne, like, training to become Batman. No, I don't need that. Just put us back in, throw us in the middle of a comic book. Like, just, all of these like new issue 1s that they're starting, the new issue 1s never start with the backstory. Like, they just start right away in the action. Like, we already know who this character is. We know who Spider-Man is. We don't need another introduction. And yeah, the MCU just like completely passing over all of that.
You in. Yeah. They're like, okay, you probably know it, and if you don't, you'll kind of figure it out through context.
They even mentioned, I forget what the line is, but at some point they even mentioned, like, I think Tony asked him a question. He's like, I got bit by a spider or something. Like,
no, it was his nerd friend. He was like, how did it happen? He was like, I got bit by a spider, and he was like, can I get bit? And
oh, that's
like,
right. Yeah.
Spider's dead. No. Move on. It's over.
Yeah. Like, not having to fuck with all of that baggage just makes such a better experience.
Definitely, yeah. it let the character actually have like good growth that you haven't seen 4 times already. No great power with great responsibility.
Yes.
Uncle Ben moment.
No Uncle Ben, period.
Yeah, really. I was a little surprised that there was nothing, like not even a mention of Uncle Ben. Is there no Uncle Ben in this universe? Like,
possibly.
That's strange. Anyways, they did a really good job, I think. If you're listening, Marvel executives, kudos to you. Pats on the back all around.
Good job, Sony.
Great job on these movies that came out forever ago that I'm just getting around to now. But yeah, good movies. I think I played a little bit more Final Fantasy, not too much because I was kind of busy and I don't remember what I was busy with now, which is just absolutely strange.
Well, we played Overwatch for 12 hours on Saturday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we played Overwatch for 12 hours and then I also played some Apex with some buddies. So no wins, but we had some good times, so that's all that matters.
You're so concerned about the wins. I have like 50, like, I don't even know how many wins I have. I have like 3 characters with like 30 wins. Like, I don't know. Stop counting them. Just play the game.
All right. But yeah, no, I forgot that last Saturday, we played Overwatch for 12 hours straight.
We did. And I've played it probably another 15 hours since then.
I have not touched it.
It's every day. Every day I am locked. And actually now I was going to say in Papa Jeff's basement, but that doesn't exist anymore.
True anymore?
So we'll talk about that maybe a little bit too, but yeah, unfortunate.
A little bit. But yeah, that's basically been it. Movies. I should hopefully, I think, be caught up with all the movies by the end of next month.
I mean, you're
I think that there's like 5 to 7 movies left.
What's next? Black Panther?
Yes.
So yeah, you're right there.
There's Black Panther, then Infinity War, then Ms. Marvel.
You have like 2 weeks.
Then
maybe.
Endgame, and then Far From Home.
Yeah.
So probably 3. So yeah, I'll be done in the first half of next month. But then it's probably going to be jumping into WandaVision, get caught up on that, and then I can finally be watching the thing that's like relevant. I can join the water cooler talks.
You sure can. It ends tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Damn it. But then the next one, Loki, right?
Loki is in June or July, I think. I can't remember.
I'll be caught up for that.
Well, actually,
we can discuss it.
I think Loki is July, but Black Widow is in May. So you can watch Black Widow.
Oh, okay. So I can watch a proper movie when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then I can watch the next TV show when that's airing.
You sure can. You can be part of the conversation.
Love it. Which we won't want to spoil, so we won't really talk about.
No, I do want to say, though, about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, at the end of WandaVision, like, around the last couple of episodes, seeing, like, that show put together, and especially, like, the gimmick of that show. Like, I don't think that I was looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier, but deep down, I kind of thought that Falcon and Winter Soldier was just going to be, like, more typical Marvel formula. Like, it would basically be a movie broken up into a TV show, whereas WandaVision was very experimental and very unique. I thought that Falcon and the Winter Soldier was going to be much more standard fare than
that's fair.
Than that. So, like, after experiencing WandaVision, I wasn't like, I didn't expect to enjoy Falcon and Winter Soldier as much as I did WandaVision. But that's completely changed. I mean, it's been great the entire time, and for the weirdest reasons. Like, you watched Civil War, so like Baron Zemo in that movie is just like, okay, he's there. He's not really this great villain. He just like, he has a singular purpose, and he doesn't get that much screen time. Really, the best, like the only significant interaction he has is towards the end of the movie when he gets found by Steve and Tony and Bucky. Like, that's the only time he ever interacts with anybody. The rest of the time, he's just kind of faceless. And he doesn't have, like, a great arc in that movie. But with Falcon Winter Soldier, they like make him, they completely turn that around. It's like when I mentioned,
he's back?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in more than half of this series.
Oh. Right.
And it's just another example of what I talked about with WandaVision, where Disney and the MCU were able to take this character that didn't necessarily get his due and flush him out way more.
Good.
Kind of the exact same thing that happened with WandaVision and going back to Age of Ultron. Like, it's so much better. And they like dig deeper into Wakanda and some stuff that I wasn't expecting at all. And without spoiling anything, they've dealt with race, the major race issues that this country is facing. Like, the idea that there's that there could be a black Captain America is a question the show is grappling with. Like, is this appropriate? Sure. Is not even appropriate, but is this possible? Like, will America look at a black Captain America and accept them as Captain America? That's like the entire premise of the show. And you might look at that and like, prior to the series coming out, I could have seen Disney play with that a little bit with some of the threads there. I never in a million years would have expected Disney to go into the issues as much as they did in this series.
Whenever you think Disney, you don't think, hey, let's talk about serious social issues that are actually relevant.
It's not necessarily that. It's when I see Disney, I think of a company that doesn't want to take any risks. And it's stupid that we have to say that this is a risk talking about this. But like, they've stepped up to the plate. I respect Disney way more for putting this series out, especially considering the way they're talking about these issues. Just head on. They're not dancing around it. They're just talking about it head on. And that's like so refreshing to see from a studio like this. In like the biggest property ever. Like, the MCU is the biggest media franchise pretty much of all time at this point. And to see that they're willing to, take that into like a conversation that we need to have is refreshing. So I love it. I can't wait for tomorrow. I don't know how it's going to end. I assume I know how it's going to end, but there's like a lot of questions that they still have to answer. And I don't know how long the episode is. The other thing with the Disney Plus series is that there's no rules because it's not made for TV. So it's like
not TV. So like commercial breaks aren't a thing.
Yeah. So like some of the episodes I think they've all been around 40 minutes or so, but last week's episode was a full hour. I kind of expect this one to be longer than that. Maybe even like upwards of 90 minutes, possibly.
Sure.
So
short movie.
Yeah. Very much looking forward to that. Other than Overwatch, though, I played a little bit more of Outriders. And then I got a craving for to play a JRPG that I haven't played before. And I put out a little poll on Twitter. The 4 candidates that I was considering was Dragon Quest XI. What were the other ones? The World Ends With You.
Those are the only 2 I remember.
Xenoblade was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And then, what was the last one? It was another
something
Nintendo one. Oh, well, I can't remember. Anyway, I decided after the poll closed, and this was the one I secretly wanted to play anyway, was The World Ends With You. Did you ever play this back in the DS?
No.
Okay, so it's a game that originally came out on the Nintendo DS in 2007. And it's had mobile ports since then, and they ported the mobile port to Switch. I kind of wish I would have bought it on a mobile phone rather than on Switch, to be completely honest.
Really?
Yeah, because the game...
Can you buy it on like an iPhone?
Yeah. It's also way cheaper, but it's also not the one on Switch is a definitive edition or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think there might be a little bit of like new content in it. But the game is meant to be played on a mobile device.
That's so strange.
Like, it uses the DS. Like, if you were to play it on DS, I know exactly how it would play. You would only use the stylus, essentially, to play that game.
Yeah.
And playing it on Switch feels weird. I don't like playing it in the dock. Like, playing it on the TV sucks because you have to use the Wiimote. And it's like pointing around the screen with the Wiimote, and it's not necessarily, first of all, it's not comfortable to wave your arm around for long periods of time, but also it doesn't feel precise. It doesn't feel precise enough. So I've been playing it in tablet mode and like without the Joy-Cons, just the fucking tablet. And the Switch itself is not ergonomic. Like, if I was playing it on a phone, it's one thing to hold this for long periods of time.
Yeah.
But the Switch fucking thing is like this thick. It's like I have small hands on top of it. I'm not ashamed to say that I have small little baby hands. But like my hands can't grip the tablet like I need them to. I need bigger hands to play this game.
Just wait until the Switch Pro comes out. How are you going to grab that? It's going to be even bigger.
Impossible. You know what I need to do is get one of those pop sockets and put it at the back is what I need to do.
Oh, but then you couldn't dock it.
That's, fucking hell. You're right. God damn it. Okay, well, I guess I can't do that. You're 100% right.
Yep.
But yeah, that sucks. I want to play it just with a controller because you should be able to play. Like, I understand why they chose not to do it, but I feel like they could have adapted the Switch version to be played with a fucking controller, especially because they're charging $50 for it, whereas I think it's like $15 on mobile devices, but it's an extra
I might pick it up and play it on my phone.
It's an extra $35 to buy it on Switch. Like, if you're gonna make that fucking leap in price, the least you could do is do a little bit of fucking localization or whatever.
World ends with you.
So I didn't really know anything about this game before I picked it up, other than like in the Persona community, like there's a lot of people that like that game, and they're like, if you like this series, you'll like this series. It's also from the Kingdom Hearts team. It's not a Kingdom Hearts game. It's also not technically a Kingdom Hearts spin-off. However, the characters did end up being in a Kingdom Hearts game after the fact. One of the mobile ones that was on DS, I think, or 3DS.
$17.99.
Yeah, so $17.99. It was $49.99 on Switch. So that over double the price. But yeah, it's really different. I don't know what I really expected, but I like it feels good to play on the tablet. Just holding the tablet sucks.
Yeah, I can see why you would say that would play better on a phone then.
It reminds me, did you ever play a game or hear of a game called Saturday Morning RPG?
No.
That was a game I played on the Vita, but I think it also made its way to, I think it's on PS4. I don't know if it's on Switch or on anything else. I think it's on mobile, but it's called Saturday Morning RPG, and that is a kind of similar game, gameplay-wise, where you there's like these scratch and sniff stickers that you have to scratch the screen to basically power up your character or whatever. It's a really cool game. I actually really recommend that game to people if they have nostalgia for the 90s, because it's all about it's about Saturday morning cartoons growing up in the 90s, basically. So it's a really cool game, but this game reminds me of that game. And that game was fun to play. This one, the story's a little bit, I don't know that I like the main character. He's kind of an edgelord, but he also has amnesia, which to me,
so maybe he's not an edgelord, he just thinks he is.
Yeah, that's I don't know who wakes up with amnesia and it's you know what, I'm gonna be shitty to everybody just because I hate everybody. The first thing he says in the game is I hate everybody, I just want to be alone.
Excellent.
Okay. I don't know if I didn't know who I was that would be my response. I would feel like I would want to go and talk to people to figure out who the fuck I am, but that's just me, I guess. So I don't know how I feel about the main character, but we'll see how it goes.
I'm curious. How the fuck does that work?
What?
What's the technical title of The World Ends With You for Switch? Is it Remix?
The final remix, I think.
The final remix.
Because I think there was one. I think the original one was just The World Ends With You. I think the one they put on the mobile store was maybe
it's called Solo Remix.
Solo Remix, yeah. So then Final Remix is the one on Switch.
Damn, I'm gonna stare at my phone for 16 hours.
It's scratching the itch that I wanted it to. And if I like it enough, there's a sequel coming out this year. How often does that happen? Where a game comes out 15 years ago and they decide to make a sequel to it? It also got an anime. There's an anime airing right now. Like this dead game basically just decides to come back to life. They make an anime of it and they release a new game in the same year. It's weird.
Should I get it?
I don't know yet. give me another week and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I mean, if you're looking for something to like kill time with, sure.
Well, like that's the thing. Having it on my phone,
it's also not
super
long.
appealing. Because like, it's one thing to like sit down and dedicate a chunk of time to like Final Fantasy or something like that. But if I'm just, I don't know, dicking around and I only have like 30 minutes, I'm probably not going to boot up Final Fantasy because I'm not going to get anywhere. But if I have this dumb little mobile game,
sure,
that sounds perfect.
It's it constantly auto saves. It's like super simplified. Again, I would definitely not recommend getting it on Switch to anybody, mostly because the cost and because of the play style, but also like just playing the game on Switch. Yeah, the playing the game on Switch feels almost half baked because the systems don't work like any other console game. Like there's only autosave. There's no like going in to manually save the game. There's no like even real like settings menu or like a main menu. You can go into like your inventory and there's like kind of a map in there and stuff, but like it just feels so shallow because it's a DS game and I need like that. Sure. That's why. But to release it for full $50 on Switch, I don't know about that.
That was a choice.
It's a beloved game. People fucking love it, and I guess that's why there's now going to be a sequel to it coming out here. But
there's so many games that are beloved that a sequel never gets the light of day.
Sure. So yeah, if you pick it up, I would do it on mobile for sure, not on Switch.
Okay. Fair.
I think I'm gonna do it, John.
Oh.
I think I'm going to do because this game it's a short game. It's like 20 hours long. So I think that I'll be able to beat that by next week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to man up in the toxic masculine sense of the word.
Okay.
And play Returnal when it comes out next Friday.
I forget what Returnal was. Was that sounds scary.
It's the one with the like PT house, the Sony exclusive, the new PS5 game coming out from Housemarque. But it looks like it has a PT house in it, like a Resident Evil style, like walk around spooky jump scare house.
Yes. I wouldn't do it, but you are more than welcome to do it.
The previews came out this week, and it's getting glowing reviews. It's Housemarque. First of all, I already love Housemarque. I already know that because they make terrific games. But all of the previews from all of the outlets are saying like this is the first real PS5 game. And like it's using the PS5, it's using the DualSense controller in very interesting ways. And it's just another, it's going to be the next, as much as they could preview without reviewing the game, they're basically all saying it's the next great PlayStation game. So like, I feel like I have to play it.
Yeah, you have to at least try it.
I'm just going to hope that the PT parts are short and sweet and I'll move on. Also, maybe it's a roguelite. I didn't know that. I found that out. Oh. It's a roguelite.
Interesting.
So that is interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it though.
Godspeed on your journey.
Thank you. Did we miss anything? Is there anything else interesting happening?
I'm sure there is, but like, it's been a really weird week.
It sure has.
It feels like we did the 12-hour stream like 3 weeks ago.
It does feel forever.
And I don't know why.
It's because we fucked up our content the last 2 weeks because we took...
Yeah.
What even happened? Oh, you got the shot.
We mixed up. We did the podcast last Tuesday.
Right.
And then
we missed a week and then did the podcast and then we did the Persona and then we did... Right. And then we missed Tuesday.
We skipped this week because you are old.
Guys, I hurt my jaw. I don't know how you do that. I hurt my jaw. I pulled a muscle in my jaw by clenching my jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get old. Don't turn 30 is the answer to the question.
Cease aging if possible.
I pulled my jaw and it hurt really bad. It was really weird. So like I was clenching my jaw. Well, my jaw was already like kind of hurting a little bit. And like, so I clenched it and something something right here popped.
Like audibly?
Yes. Like when you crack your finger, like it went pop, and it felt horrible. It hurt so bad.
Could you like eat?
Oh yeah. No, I mean it was weird because it wasn't like you think jaw pain, you think like here, like in the mandible region, but it's not. It's like the muscle of my neck.
Oh,
it's so fucking weird.
I don't like this.
It's not
conversation,
good.
This thought, this concept. Nothing about what you're saying is okay.
So it hurt really bad, and we didn't do the Let's Play on Tuesday. And so we took that time off, which is probably why it feels like it's been forever since Saturday. But now we're here.
And it's almost the weekend again.
But now we here. Oh, and this weekend I'm going to play Fall Guys on Saturday.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The chaos isn't over.
No, it's not. Not yet. I did not practice like I said I was going to practice, mostly because my jaw hurt and I didn't want to be in pain while playing Fall Guys, which is pain. So I didn't. I played a few rounds last night, just like very briefly. I suck at the new racing level, the one I talked about last time. That's like you have to do 2 circuits around it.
Laps.
I can't win. It's always like round 3 and I'm eliminated every time. I can't get it.
That sucks.
I can't get it. Hopefully I'll figure it out. That or what I really hope happens is I get a bunch of rounds where it's all season 1 content. That would be great.
Yeah, you'll be primed and ready to go.
So that's Saturday. I'm going to stream on this channel from 3 to 7 on Saturday. And then if I win, or if not win, but if I get into the final round, that will be Sunday from 2 to 6. Yeah. Or no. Yeah, 2 to 6. So we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
Shall we talk about some news?
Let's do it.
All right. So as we alluded to earlier, PlayStation is back in the news, and with positive press, even.
For good reasons.
For good reasons. Have they dug themselves out of the hole that they were in before? Maybe not yet. Especially because Xbox, again, is I think John so astutely put it, Xbox is on a mountain and PlayStation was in a hole. And I think PlayStation has almost dug themselves out of the hole, but Xbox is still on a mountain, so they got a ways to go. They
either need to fucking invent a jetpack to fly up that mountain real fast, or just pray that the gods smite Xbox and cast them down from the mountain.
It's true. However,
one of the two.
I guess we'll get to my thought here in a little bit. So let's start with the first story, which is the biggest one. That's a direct response. So it was rumored about 3 weeks ago that Sony was going to shut down the PS3 and the Vita stores and the PSP store. The following week, it was confirmed. Sony came out and said, we're going to do it. You have until this date to buy stuff, because then the stores are going away. You can still buy your game, or you can still download your games as long as you've purchased them before the dates, but the store itself is going away. Goodbye. Then, this Monday, April 19th, Jim Ryan came out and clearly said, it's clear that we made the wrong decision.
Thanks, Jim.
This article comes from Brendan Sinclair over at gamesindustry.biz. Sony has decided to keep the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita digital storefronts up and running after the company's plan to close them this summer drew considerable backlash. The plan to shutter the PS3, Vita, and PlayStation Portable stores was first reported in the press last month, with Sony confirming the original report a week later. It also shut down the legacy web version of the PlayStation Store in the intervening time, so removing the system's own storefronts would have spelled an end to the availability of any digital or digitally distributed games on all three platforms. Upon further reflection, however, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here, Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan said in a post on the PlayStation blog. So today, I'm happy to say that we will be keeping the PlayStation Store operational for PS3 and PS Vita devices. The PSP Store will not receive a similar reprieve, as Ryan specified it was shut down, or it will be shut down on July 2nd as previously announced. It's important to note here that the PSP store has basically been dead for, I think Sony shut down the store on the console itself back in 2016, but there was basically a backdoor way to go and buy games through the current PlayStation Vita store, essentially. So they're shutting that down for sure. But the PS Vita and the PS3 stores stay. John.
That's a win.
That's a win.
That's a win. That's what PlayStation desperately needed after the last fucking 2 months.
For Jim Ryan to come out and say we made a mistake, I feel is big.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jim Ryan is, as we talked about for several weeks now, he's not Reggie. He's not Phil Spencer. No. He is Mr. CEO, making Mr. CEO money, making Mr. CEO decisions, and, you know, not coming across as personable.
No.
So for him to go out and say, I made a mistake, we made a mistake, we're fixing that mistake, I feel like that goes a long way in helping to repair some of that trust in the brand.
Definitely. Wasn't it, maybe I'm wrong, but wasn't it Phil who came out and said, like the day after they talked about doubling the price of Xbox Live or whatever, was it Phil who came out and said, hey, we heard you, you're right, we screwed up? Yeah,
it was it Phil or was it Aaron Greenberg? It was one of the two.
It was somebody, but yeah, it's nice to see a face that like is well known on the PlayStation side come out and say this, and not just somebody that like they just kind of throw out into the spotlight because they're like, okay, we need somebody to handle this, but not the CEO. You go do it.
Right.
Or just a faceless announcement on their
homepage, it could have just been the PlayStation. It could have been not signed at all. It could have just been on the PlayStation blog. Update. We're not going to shut it down. Sign the PlayStation team or whatever. But no, it was Jim Ryan. He came out. He said it.
The way that they handled it was very appropriate and 100% the way it needed to be.
Totally agree. I also I feel reassured now because there was a lot of talk on the internet about Sony being, after all of this, Sony going back to being that like faceless, give us your money corporation and not being gamer friendly, not thinking about games, thinking about money, not communicating.
PS3
exactly. Era. Going back to the PS3 era Sony. I feel more confident that is not what is happening. It's definitely a different Sony than it was 5 years ago even. But it's not a resurgence of the Sony from 10 years ago. Yes. And I take heart not only that they made this change, or they reverted their decision rather, but they listen. They're saying like they recognize that their words have power, and that like especially in the face of their competitor winning hearts and minds with Game Pass, the only way for them to be successful is to hold on to the consumers that they have. And to do that, they need to be personable. They need to be pro-consumer. They need to be pro-gamer. They need to communicate. And that's what they're doing here.
Listen and respond as much of a person as you can. I mean, it's a corporation, but don't do the thing that we just said where you just have a update, sign the PlayStation team. Don't do that. Don't do a Cyberpunk.
Let me finish Jim Ryan's quote here real quick. When we initially came to the decision to end purchasing support for PS3 and PS Vita, it was born out of a number of factors, including commerce support challenges for older devices and the ability for us to focus more of our resources on newer devices where a majority of our gamers are playing on. We see now that many of you are incredibly passionate about being able to continue purchasing classic games on PS3 and PS Vita for the foreseeable future. So I'm glad we were able to find a solution to continue operations. So two things there. First, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, you first.
Okay. So two things that I have. First is that it definitely goes back. They made a business decision, as I said about 1 million times last week. They didn't want to support all of the older accounts in their commerce. They didn't want to have to write checks for 50 cents to fucking whoever the hell that doesn't exist anymore even.
Little Adventure on the Prairie creator dev.
Sure. They didn't want to do that. So it makes sense. Second, when they say we see now that many of you are incredibly passionate about being able to continue purchasing games on PS3 and PS Vita, I hope when they say that, they recognize not just what he said here, literally, that you want to buy games on PS3 and Vita, but the larger picture, which is that your player base is passionate about your product, which lives on consoles dating back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm very glad. I'm very happy that you decided to reverse course on this. Am I ever, now that I bought Persona 2 Eternal Punishment and Innocent Sin, am I ever going to go back and buy a game on the Vita or on the PS3? Probably not. But you also need to understand that your player base expects you to preserve your history.
Yeah. Game preservation.
The key of this issue was not necessarily that we can't buy your games on PS3 or PS Vita. The issue was that you're not preserving your games. That's what I hope.
Get your games anywhere.
Right. That's what I hope they take away from this.
That people are emulating. Well, Nintendo is the one who's really mad about it, but like, you get mad that people are emulating your games, and yet you make it impossible to buy your games. So sure. What do you want from us?
Yeah. So this is where I hope they take that piece to heart too. It's not just the PS3 store and the PS Vita store. It's your games. It's your history. Because that's important to the PlayStation brand. PlayStation has been around for 24 years, almost 25 years, or something like that.
Sounds right.
1996.
I think so.
So like, there's a lot of history there, and again, when your competitor is taking care of their history, it puts you in a bad light if you're not doing the same for yours. So,
I want to know what their solution was. Was it just to deal with it? Or they're like, okay, hey, accounting team that we said you'd no longer have to deal with this fucking annoying pain in the ass writing 50-cent checks. Sorry, people got really mad, so you're going to have to keep on doing that.
Yeah, I don't know what that solution is. That's a good point. Yeah, because you said, so I'm glad we were able to find a solution to continue operations.
Yeah,
which means
please expound upon that solution.
Yeah, they're taking action in some way, but they aren't saying what that action is. So what does that mean? I have no idea.
And I definitely, if you're going to be tin hatty conspiracy theorist and be like, oh, they did this to draw attention and then come out and be the good guys. Like, no, that's dumb. They wouldn't put themselves, why would they dig themselves a hole to then get out? Like, this doesn't put them at a higher point than before they made that announcement.
No, it does not.
So if you're gonna spew that nonsense, no.
It's the same amount of sense that it made when Xbox had their blunder with increasing Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah.
And they had already made the cards. They had made the $120 Xbox Live Gold cards, and Best Buy had them. They had to send them all back. They would not have made those cards if they did not intend on making the change.
Exactly. There is one thing now that we are talking about that stupid ass decision of Xbox that got reversed within like 24 hours. I think yesterday, or maybe it was today. It was sometime in the last like 3 days.
Oh, the free to play.
Finally, free to play is now actually free to play.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
They had implemented that back on like the Xbox Insiders program, like to alpha test it or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it was like Tuesday this week that they actually pushed it live to all of Xbox Live. So now you no longer have to have Xbox Live Gold to play your Fortnites and your War Zones. You can just go ahead and play it.
And Apex and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's true. So good job, PlayStation. Thank you for reversing that. And being like coming out in front of it and not ducking it or not running away from it, facing it head on. Being
transparent and open and actually talking to us as much like as much like a person as you can, even though you're a corporation.
Yeah. Next article comes from the PlayStation blog. Tony. I'm really good at pronouncing Japanese names. I'm terrible at pronouncing Chinese names.
Okay.
How do you pronounce HSU? Sue?
HSU? I would assume Sue.
So Tony Jesus, he is the studio head of Firewalk Studios, put a article out. Actually, this is the exact same format that Jade Raymond used when she came out with Haven and announced that she was being funded by PlayStation for a new game. So Tony from Firewalk Studios,
they got a template.
They have a template. Wrote on the PlayStation blog that PlayStation and Firewalk Studios announces a publishing partnership for a new original multiplayer IP. Let me read this little message from Tony. There's a moment that happens almost every day in our multiplayer playtests, where someone jolts out of their seat, laughs, and says to no one in particular, "Did you just see that happen?" These amazing and unpredictable moments in gaming are the sparks that occur when playing with others, future memories ready to be replayed and retold. We started Firewalk Studios in 2018 with this kind of spark of the heat, with this kind of spark at the heart of our games. It's why I used to stay up until 2 a.m. playing Phantasy Star Online night after night with the same group of from Server 9. Or how the neighbors who showed up at my New York City apartment to complain about the noise ended up jamming with us in Rock Band instead. For others on our team, it was spending nights with their crew searching and finding the perfect last armor set piece in Diablo 2, making the online qualifiers in competitive Halo tournaments, or skipping studying for a math final to play in Left 4 Dead 2 LAN parties. Sorry, the fucking page cut off. As a next generation AAA studio and part of the Probably Monsters family, we've carefully assembled an amazing and diverse team of the best-in-class talent who are focused on creating these moments. Everyone here brings a deep passion for games and the art of making them. We have a saying at Firewalk: build a great team, build a great game. One leads directly to the other. The Probably Monsters world-class operations teams and infrastructure has allowed us to focus on doing both better, fostering a sustainable development culture where people come first and delivering great games. Our collective leadership team is no stranger to building memorable multiplayer experiences. Ryan Ellis, our game director, was a creative director on Destiny. Elena Siegman, our executive producer, was a producer on Guitar Hero 2, BioShock, and multiple Destiny releases. Our deeply talented team has helped bring to life franchises like Mass Effect and Apex Legends. Combined with my own experience and thousands of hours played on Call of Duty and Destiny, we've had the opportunity to deliver some of the decade's biggest experiences to gamers, and we've loved it. Today, we're thrilled to announce a partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment for our new original multiplayer game. For our team, the opportunity to create new worlds and inspire more amazing moments for players around the world is the fire and ambition that keeps us going. The PlayStation team has a deep love and respect for the medium of games and some of the best expertise and capabilities in the world to make big ambitions a reality. That's where I'll cut it. So Probably Monsters and Firewalk Studios are partnering with PlayStation for a brand new original multiplayer IP. That is big news for a variety of reasons, John. The first one that comes to my mind is the multiplayer aspect of it. Because when was the fucking last time Sony had a multiplayer game?
Yeah, really. Everything that they've been doing has been blockbuster movies, but it's been single player blockbuster movies.
Yeah. SOCOM? Like, that's back on the PS2? I guess maybe Killzone? Like the first couple Killzone games?
Resistance had multiplayer.
Did it?
I think so.
But,
I think it might have been utilized as much as that's the
Gears thing.
Of War, but I don't know how much people actually use Gears of War.
That's the thing. Well, Sony's had multiplayer modes in a lot of their games. Like Uncharted 2, 3, and 4 all had multiplayer modes. The Last of Us had a multiplayer mode, which was actually really fucking great. And supposedly we're getting The Last of Us 2 multiplayer mode here in the relatively near future.
I can't wait till we get The Last of Us remake remaster.
Yeah, right.
Multiplayer
mode. So their games have had multiplayer pieces in them, but I wouldn't say like Resistance is a single player game with a multiplayer mode. In the same way that Doom is a single player game with a multiplayer mode. No one's playing Doom or buying Doom just for the multiplayer experience.
Yeah. No, I gotcha.
This is different though. This is a multiplayer IP and it's being helmed by like the biggest names in multiplayer IP. We're talking about people who created Destiny, people who created Apex Legends, Call of Duty. Like, these are people, this is a big studio. This is maybe the biggest studio I've never heard of. It reminds me a lot of Respawn, because Respawn had a very similar kind of upbringing where, like, I can't remember which Call of Duty it was, but a bunch of people quit, I think Infinity Ward, and then they started Respawn, and this decided to start developing Titanfall, and Microsoft essentially paid for them to develop Titanfall, and then EA ended up buying them. So this reminds me a lot of that, where it's basically people from the same cloth. It's people from Call of Duty, from Destiny, from like those EA properties and Activision, I guess. Yep. And they're going to create a new IP. They don't say what it is. It says they're playtesting it, so it has to be somewhat along. It says the studio was founded in 2018, so it's been 3 years. I don't expect this game to be out anytime soon, but I would say in the next probably year or two.
It's fair. Sorry, I got a little distracted. My dog was trying to, I don't know if she was trying to strangle herself or break my computer or just get attention, but she decided to get her little head wrapped up in my headphone cord.
Why not all three?
Move, little pup. Okay.
So what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I just want to know what it is.
Yeah.
That's my only thought. I want to know what the game is. Even just like the genre. Like what style of game is it? Is it going to be a Sony VR? Because I think we kind of have enough of those right now.
Yeah.
So like I'm hoping that it's going to be something like, not only is it going to be a new IP, but it's going to be a new idea in general.
I agree.
Something that's not currently, like, I don't want it to come out and be competition for something that's already out. I want it to come out and be something that's completely new.
I'm not necessarily against it being competition for something that's already out. It just depends on, I guess, what it is. Because I guess what I have in mind here, like where I go is, yes, we have a fucking million battle royales right now, and we don't need another one. But we thought that we had a million battle royales back when PUBG and Fortnite were battling it out. And then here Apex Legends comes out of nowhere. You know? Like,
that's true.
You have this like game that with Apex Legends quite literally dropped like completely unannounced on like a random Friday. And all of a sudden you have a brand new game that is competing on the same level as those other games. I see, like, they mentioned Destiny like 4 times in here. And I don't know that there's been another game
like Destiny. Like
obviously Destiny exists. And there have been a lot of people who have tried to make the next Destiny. Things like
nobody's quite got it.
No one's gotten it. Yeah. The biggest one I think is Ubisoft's game. What is it? The Division. The Division is basically Destiny, but in third person. It's like the looter shooter kind of thing, except with a persistent world that's mainly multiplayer driven, which is different from what Outriders and Borderlands does, but kind of in the same realm too.
Yeah.
But in terms of it being like multiplayer and in a persistent world, no one's been able to do that like Destiny has. And Destiny player base has come and it's ebbed and flowed, but Destiny is at least consistently good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's really been anything to be able to compete with that. The Division has tried. There have been others that have tried, but no one's been able to really hit it.
Actually do it, yeah. I guess that's fair. I just don't want it to come out and be something that is in a already very saturated market.
I want it to come out
something new. Maybe doesn't have to be a completely brand new thing that has literally no competition.
It needs to be unique though. Like, it can't come out. If it's going to be a battle royale or if it's going to be a Destiny, it has to be doing something interesting.
Yeah.
And I think with the pedigree of these people, there's a pretty good chance that that's going to happen, especially if PlayStation is funding it. PlayStation
For sure.
typically doesn't go out and fund things they don't believe in. And more often than not, those things that they invest in are great. Like, there's not very many examples of them because they call this a Sony Studios game. It's going to be a PlayStation Studios game. It's going to be a first-party game. I guess second-party
I think that they were saying it was going to be exclusive too, right?
Yes, yeah. It's a second-party game in the same way that, like, so a second-party game is like Sunset Overdrive when Insomniac created Sunset Overdrive for Xbox. So yeah. Insomniac was an independent studio, but Xbox funded it. So it's an Xbox IP. I think it is, at least. This is going to be a Sony IP created by a third-party studio, which Sony has done a lot of, and we'll get to the next article in a second, but it looks like they're going to continue doing. So, again, Sony over the years has invested wisely in the people they partner with. And even if those games don't always knock it out of the park, when I think of things like Detroit Become Human from Quantic Dream, or even like Death Stranding was well received, but it also had a lot of like controversy around it. Those games are still nominated for Game of the Year at the end of the year. So
yeah,
I'm encouraged to see this. I don't know anything about these. Like, I don't know anything about Probably Monsters. I've never heard of that publisher before.
Neither have
This
I.
is the first I've heard of Firewalk Studios. I don't think they've talked about this studio since, I mean, it's been around since 2018, but they haven't really like talked or been public at all. So this is the first time they've really done that. And yeah, like I said, I think it's gonna be a long time before we actually see this game, but it's in the pipeline.
Yes, it is.
This leads into the next story pretty nicely because Jim Ryan says PlayStation has been quietly investing in PS5 exclusives. This article comes from Video Games Chronicle. Tom Ivan writes, speaking to Nikkei, the PlayStation boss said the company has been quietly investing in the creation of first-party software and that it could pursue further M&A opportunities to bolster its in-house development capabilities. We have been quietly but steadily investing in high-quality games for PlayStation, and we will make sure that the PS5 generation will have more dedicated software than ever before, Ryan said. We have repeatedly engaged in mergers and acquisitions, including Insomniac Games in the US. We will not rule out that option in the future. In terms of upcoming exclusives, SIE is currently gearing up to release Housemarque's Returnal on April 30th and Insomniac's Ratchet & Clank Ripped Apart in June 2021. Guerrilla's Horizon Forbidden West is slated for release in late 2021, and God of War Ragnarok was announced via a brief teaser last September for release on PS5 this year, although nothing more has been heard of Santa Monica Studios' sequel since. PlayStation recently closed its oldest first-party developer, Sony Japan Studio, but Ryan told Nikkei the company remains committed to the Japanese market. He said, "It is important for us to provide software that fits the Japanese gaming community, and PS5 has included a lot of software from Japanese developers since its early stages. We will continue to strengthen our ties with Japanese developers and release content for PS5 that fits the Japanese market." Ryan also commented on the current supply of PlayStation 5 consoles in the market and claimed that Sony had asked manufacturers to increase production. Basically, there's not enough supply. Also, the coronavirus.
Well, yeah.
Lots of little nuggets in this article. I think I'm going to work backwards.
Okay.
Starting with, we will continue to strengthen our ties with Japanese developers and release content for PS5 that fits the Japanese market. This is another example of Sony, of Jim Ryan even, coming out and responding to criticism.
Yeah, directly.
Last week, one of the fucking things I had an issue with was when they closed Sony Japan Studio and they don't talk about it, or they seemingly write off the Japanese market, which is one of their biggest markets. PlayStation is the only console you buy in Japan other than Nintendo. It's the only home console. It's the only console that is it's the only non-switchable console you can buy in Japan. No one owns an Xbox. No one does.
The console war is between Xbox and PlayStation. Everybody in Japan owns a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And a Switch.
Right.
There's like 8 people in Japan who own an Xbox and a Switch.
It's true. There's all 8 of them, and they all get together every Friday night to play Halo 2 LAN.
Yep.
But yeah, the closing Sony Japan studio was a major blow to that, because theoretically, other than Astrobot, Sony has no first-party games that are developed by Japanese developers. And obviously, if you're a Japanese person and you like Japanese games, that's going to be a big issue for you. So for him to come out and say, we're going to continue strengthening our ties with Japanese developers, tells me that they understand that that's a problem. And it tells me that this is something they've been thinking about, and that even in the face of that issue, they still chose to close Japan studio. Which to me, I'm reading into it, but they also said, and this is what this podcast is about. We have repeatedly engaged in mergers and acquisitions, including Insomniac Games in the US. We will not rule that option out in the future. A couple of months ago, it wasn't months ago, it might have been even weeks ago. There was an article about how Sony was investing in the parent company of From Software. From Software being a Japanese developer.
Yes, I remember we talked about that. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like a major. They didn't buy like 50% or whatever. It was like a 5%,
something like that. But they are investing in that company.
Yes.
They just put out Demon Souls remake. Like I foresee continued partnerships with that studio in the future. Whether it's Bloodborne 2, whether it's Demon Souls 2, I don't know what it is, but I think that we're going to see a partnership there. I think that we're going to continue seeing, they've talked about this a million times, but Sony has consistently said they love the Persona, the mainline Persona games. They love that is a PlayStation exclusive line of games, IP. So I think that they're not bluffing there. They're going to continue buying exclusive games from Japanese game developers. And I think that they know that they need to have a lot of them if they're going to close their only studio that was in Japan.
Yes.
So I don't think there's going to be any kind of drought there, because that was kind of a sky is falling moment a couple months ago when they closed Japan studio, because they don't have any Japanese games anymore. But I think that we're not going to be lacking in that department anytime soon.
Good. Healthy competition.
I guess, yeah, the only other two pieces of this is that we have been quietly and steadily investing in high quality games for PlayStation. We will make sure that the PS5 generation will have more dedicated software than ever before. And we are not ruling out, again, the mergers and acquisitions piece of this.
Is it really mergers, though? It's acquisitions, right? They're not going to merge with somebody and be like, okay, we'll change our name.
No, you're right. They're not.
Like, they're not going to become Activision Blizzard. It's not going to be like PlayStation Sega or something. It's like, no, you're going to buy people. You're not merging. You're absorbing. Not yet.
I don't think that's where they're at yet.
Sure.
However, if it gets to be dire, I could see that.
Oh, yeah. If shit hits the fan, then yes. But while they sell PlayStation 5s at a 3-to-1 ratio to the Xbox One,
sure.
I don't think they have to worry about
no
doing that.
If I'm going to put my money on something, it'll be Epic. PlayStation Epic, or Epic PlayStation.
I hate it.
But yeah, I guess I don't know. Them just saying the word, we're not going to rule out mergers and acquisitions, has me hopeful in my prediction that they're going to buy someone this year. Again, it's not going to be Bethesda.
Well, yeah.
I don't know who it would be. But then even you take that away, take out that part entirely. They are more heavily investing in exclusive games this generation than they ever have in the past, which makes sense to me because they don't have the money to buy Bethesda.
Yeah.
I think that like I don't know. I think we don't give these companies enough credit, at least, and we being like critics of the games industry, because everyone I've listened to were like they were shocked when Bethesda was bought by Xbox. When there have been rumors about that for a while, and like these companies know what each other are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I mean, Bethesda was making games for consoles. Like they're talking to each other. They're like, "Hey, we need to know what you're doing, like what your next system can handle." They probably knew everything about the specs for the Xbox One X and the PS5 like a year before the public did. And
I'm even saying I think that Sony and Xbox know what each other are doing. Like I think that
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that Sony was well aware that Microsoft
was going to buy Bethesda.
Maybe not Bethesda, because there was some weird stuff there with like Sony's exclusivity with
That's true.
with Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop.
Yeah, I forgot about Deathloop.
So there was some weird stuff there, but with them acquiring how many studios in the past, like 2 or 3 years? All of those weird one-off studios that they've announced they bought, like
there was E3 2019 where they bought 7 studios.
Yeah, they bought exactly. They bought all of these fucking studios and some publishers. I think Double Fine publishes their own games. So like they bought a lot of people over the past 2 years. So even before the Bethesda acquisition, Xbox had been buying stuff. So Sony saw that and was like, we need to do something about this.
We need to compete, but in a way that like
makes sense for us.
Actually compete. Yeah.
Exactly. And Sony can't go out and buy companies, but they can damn well go out and buy games.
Yep.
That's easy. That's not peanuts, but that's easy for them, especially when they can then like they've been the winner. They've been the winner for the last decade. So they can take that player population and be like, "Hey, look, we sell 3-to-1 PS4s to Xbox Ones. Like, we have the population for your game. Give us the rights to it. We'll pay you money. It's all gonna be great in the end."
Yeah.
And I think that's a totally legitimate way to go forward. The only issue I could see is if Xbox decides to take that as a threat and starts like buying all of those people like they did with Bethesda.
Aggressively and at that point it becomes a legal battle of okay, Xbox, are you a monopoly now?
Right. But I don't think that PlayStation needs to go out and buy studios unless it makes sense for them. They're being shrewd. And like gamers hate exclusivity, but gamers also fucking love exclusivity.
We wish that everything was playable everywhere, but everybody has their preferred choice of where to play, and we want that to be the superior one. I'm also
I really do feel like competition, this kind of competition is good.
Yeah.
Where Xbox is striving to be PlayStation. They bought Bethesda because they see an opportunity to be able to provide the same level of quality in their games that PlayStation has been providing for several years now.
Yeah, the mask came off. Phil was like, "Hey, you know how we said we want our games to be played everywhere?
Joke's on you.
We want Bethesda games to be exclusive sometimes going forward."
So, yeah, I think that like having exclusive games on one side means that the other side sees an imperative to have good games on their side. And there will always be good third-party games. Ubisoft is, unless they get bought, is always going to be platform agnostic. Like these platform holders, especially the big publishers with Ubisoft, with Activision Blizzard, and with EA, they're not going to have exclusive games, most likely.
No, you're never going to... It'll be a really fucking weird day if we ever see Call of Duty be released exclusively on one system.
Right.
Maybe skins and stuff, or
sure.
Weird little downloadable content, fine. But the main game, absolutely not.
Yeah. But having these single-player exclusive games on both sides makes the other company go, you know what? We should have more of that.
Yeah.
And that's only good for gamers on both sides.
We gotta compete.
And if you want to play everything, then you can buy both systems and you can have everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm encouraged by that, and I think we see it playing out with the Firewalk Studios thing they just announced today, with Haven coming out, with Jade Raymond's studio coming out a few weeks ago and announcing their game. I do think it's a little weird that this is the way we're getting these announcements. It's like, okay, what's that guy's name? Todd or Jason or was that Tony from Firewalk Studios? Like, Tony just writes an article on the PlayStation blog. Jade Raymond just writes an article on the PlayStation blog about the game that's being funded. It's kind of weird, right?
A little bit.
That's not usually how games are announced.
No.
I wonder if that's like a bigger shift in the way that like the games industry is going to start announcing things. Maybe it's just a leak thing. Maybe they were about to have something leaked and they had to get out in front of it.
I guess it's like basically just a written form of a direct, right?
I guess.
And everybody's going with that mentality.
I guess so. It's just like usually
less production value. It's just, hey, write up a like 2-page essay.
It's just like the way we would have gotten these announcements in the past is a teaser trailer when the game was ready to be shown. But now we're not even getting that. We're just getting words. And not even like specific words. Like, hi, we're working on a multiplayer game with a
super vague, nondescript things. It's like, hey, we're releasing a game that it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Talk to you in like 2 years.
Sure.
Thanks.
It's kind of weird. I guess we'll be on the lookout and see if they continue doing that. I do start to wonder how many games we're talking about. Jim Ryan's saying that they're going to release more exclusives for PS5 than they've ever released for any other console ever before.
Yeah.
I wonder what that looks like. And how, like, what stage, just one more than we've ever had.
We counted how many we had on the last consoles, and we had 56 exclusive games. This time we are planning for 57. Thanks.
I kind of feel like we're going to start to see a lot of that here soon. Because like we're getting into the thick of it. We're almost like this E3 is sort of, I guess I can't really remember E3 2014 that well. But I feel like this year we're going to get announcements for the stuff that we're going to get 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah. We'd have the consoles. Some people have the consoles. So now it's time to say what is going to be on those 8 teraflop machines that they sold.
Do you think Elden Ring hasn't been shown because Xbox and PlayStation continue to fight over who's going to get it?
Maybe.
Next article is a weird one, but Sony testing PlayStation Plus film and TV offering. This article comes from gamesindustry.biz. Marie De Alessandri writes, Sony confirmed it's testing a movie and TV subscription service called PlayStation Plus Video Pass in Poland. PlayStation Plus subscribers in the country will have access to a catalog of Sony Pictures Entertainment content for a limited time. In a statement sent to GamesIndustry.biz, Sony said Sony Interactive Entertainment and Sony Pictures Entertainment announced a new limited time benefit, PlayStation Plus Video Pass, a new app for streaming popular movie and TV content from SPE. This benefit is offered as a trial for PlayStation Plus members in Poland as part of their membership. The PlayStation Plus Pass is a trial service active from European dates, April 22nd, 2021 until April 22nd, 2022.
You forgot what month the 22nd month is?
I did. No, I was confused by the year because it's 21 and 22. And I was like, which one's the year? Are they doing it really weird with the year in front? I don't know what's happening. So yeah.
That makes sense.
Like, is it available for 2 days? Because it looks like 421 to 422, and it's like, is it available for a day, or is it available for a year? It's available for a year. Is the answer.
Okay.
So that's interesting. I don't know what that. I don't even know what to read into that, to be honest.
Yeah, I. That's very. I don't know. And then couple that with the news that like they just signed agreements with Disney.
Yeah.
To put other Sony exclusive stuff on Disney Plus, maybe eventually.
Can we talk about that? Because
sure.
Okay, so like 2 or 3 weeks ago, Sony came out and said that their stuff, the Sony movies are going to be available on Netflix after they end their theatrical run.
Yes.
That was a news story I read. I think it was earlier this month, like 2 weeks ago. And then there was a story yesterday
that the day after I rented Homecoming.
Yeah, that the Spider-Man movies are going to make it to Disney Plus after they leave Netflix.
And maybe some of the like Spider-Man content, like I know a lot of people, at least on Twitter, they were trending. They were like, does this mean we can have Spectacular Spider-Man on Disney Plus, like, and not lock it away forever? So like other Marvel based stuff that Sony owns kind of too.
So yeah,
what a weird fucking situation.
But like, when is that? Like, if it's gonna be, if I think actually it was specified in that Netflix article that Far From Home was not going to be on Netflix.
Yes.
But if other Spider-Man movies are on Netflix, like, when does that end? And why do they? If I was Netflix, I would be pissed to read this Disney Plus thing a week later.
Yeah, I would. Netflix has got to be very upset.
I don't understand what's going on there. That's very weird. I don't know anything about the Sony Pictures part of Sony, but it seems
as
weird.
A consumer, I am upset because I just don't understand where anything is going to be.
It doesn't make sense.
Please give me consistency. Either put it all in one area and then switch it over at a certain date, or put it all on the other area and just leave it there. Please don't make me have to figure out if I can watch the first Spider-Man movie on Netflix, but then the second one also on Netflix, but then the animated series on this new Sony fucking PS Plus thing, and then the newest Spider-Man on Disney Plus. It's like, stop it. You're confusing me. I don't want this.
Just sign one contract with one person and be done with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's cool that these Polish people are going to get Sony movies with their PS Plus subscription. That's pretty cool. It's just in Poland. I don't know how they decided that. Do Polish people watch a lot of movies?
I don't know.
That's kind of weird. I don't think that Poland, like, I wouldn't have thought that Poland is like a major market for them.
That wouldn't be my first guess for where to test this feature out.
No.
I don't necessarily think that like the States are necessarily the right choice, but
yeah,
Poland would not be my first guess.
I would, like, I don't know, like Germany maybe? Like, I mean, PlayStation is also really big in Europe too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just they have a good relationship with. Is it CD Projekt? Is something with them? Is this like some kind of ploy? Like CD's like, you know what? The Polish people love us, which they do, by the way. And like, you know, if here's the Giga Brain. Okay. CD Projekt's like, okay, PlayStation. Come to Poland. I don't know how to do a Polish accent, but come to Poland. Come to Poland and give your service to all these people. They're gonna buy it, and you're gonna have a lot of money. And if you do that, we can put our game back on your store. How about that?
We will fix. You can have.
Kazakhstan accent is accent for all of Europe.
Yep.
Does this do anything like in terms of competing with Game Pass? This is a good plus, I guess.
It's a little
especially
nugget. It's not like this wouldn't make or break my decision for one over the other, but it's helping.
Sure. Throw in maybe a little bit of Funimation Crunchyroll action, and then we might have a conversation.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's like those pictures of people trying to push a car, And then there's also a dog who's just leaning up on it and it doesn't know what it's doing and it's not really helping, but like that's this story is that dog where it's like, okay, that's kind of a feel good thing. I don't know if it's helping at all, but it's there. I can see it.
I guess that's it with that one. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. A little weird.
Was that the last PlayStation one? That was the last PlayStation one. So overall, like last week I was like in the dark. Like there was like a storm cloud.
You were in a bad place.
It just felt bad.
You were kind of grasping at straws at some stuff too. You were like, well, here, maybe this is what's going on.
I mean, I don't think I was grasping at straws. I really feel like I put together a coherent argument last week.
Sure. But it came from a place of like, maybe not desperation, but it didn't come from a good place.
It came from a place of like desperately trying to understand why they would do this. Why? Why would they go through all of this pain and just throw away everything that they've built the past 10 years?
Yeah.
And that's being hyperbolic. They're not really. Because again, they're selling PS5s as fast as they can make them. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter at all. Literally, it didn't matter at all. But
no.
From a communication standpoint, there was something to be missing there. And I really feel like with a lot of stuff that was talked about this week and was announced this week, that they're back like in a neutral state. I don't think that any lasting damage was done, if any damage was done to begin with.
I think they've dug themselves out of the hole. They are now at ground level.
For sure. Just in time for the summer and all those summer announcements. So give us those. You gave us one today. Great.
So now whenever it's E3 time and they release a bunch of game trailers, we can be hyped without like also being kind of sad. Okay.
Last section of the podcast tonight is going to be some rapid fire stories. Because I don't think we're going to have... I could be wrong. I might surprise us. Or we might surprise ourselves, rather. But I don't think we're going to have like too much in-depth conversation with any one of these stories.
I would agree. I only see 2 stories. Where are the rest?
I didn't put them on here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The first one is that there is going to be new leadership at Blizzard Entertainment because Jeff Kaplan is leaving the Overwatch team. This article comes from the Blizzard blog, I guess.
What's with all these companies just putting this major news on their own little fucking rinky-dink blog?
This is from playoverwatch.com. News. We want to let you know that Jeff Kaplan has decided to leave the company after a long and storied career here, and that Aaron Keller, a Blizzard veteran and founding member of the Overwatch team, will be stepping in as game director. Aaron has been a critical part of the Overwatch team and a key driver in creating the vision of the game. He helped create Overwatch as an original team member, and as an 18-year veteran at Blizzard, he has worked side by side with Jeff for a long time. Not only in building Overwatch, but previously in helping to build WoW as well. A few words from Aaron. Greetings, Overwatch community. Jeff's been a great leader.
Fuck out of here, greetings.
Jeff's been a great leader, mentor, and friend, and he knows how much we're going to miss him. I've been lucky to work alongside him and the rest of the Overwatch team for many years in building something that continues to inspire people all around the world, and I'm honored to carry the torch forward. I love Overwatch, from our first pieces of concept art to the first maps we built, to the first time I was able to run around as Tracer, who at that early point shot laser beams out of her eyes. What? This game has just clicked with me. I love its inspiring, hopeful, beautiful world worth fighting for. I love its characters, larger than life, colorful, powerful, and global. And most of all, I love the fast, fluid gameplay requiring teamwork, situational awareness, and quick decision making.
C9.
I also recognize that making games at Blizzard has always been a group effort and never about just one point of view. Together with the rest of the team, I feel fortunate that we have a deep bench of development and creative leaders, numerous veteran Blizzard artists and designers, and some extremely talented new blood as well, along with tons of support throughout the company for the live game and for Overwatch 2. Speaking of Overwatch 2, development is continuing at a good pace. We have an exceptional vision we're executing on. The reaction from many of you to the updates we shared at BlizzConline thrilled us, and we have exciting reveals planned for this year and beyond as we ramp to launch. We'll be sharing more frequent updates for Overwatch 2 progress, and new features in the live game with you all very soon. While I have no pretenses about filling Jeff's shoes, I'm excited to step into the game director role and continue to be part of a team that's putting all of its heart, talent, and focus into the next iteration of Overwatch, and I'm honored to continue serving this incredible community. We're also tremendously grateful for Jeff's contribution. This is no longer Aaron. It's now back to the Blizzard news, whatever.
Faceless person.
We're also tremendously grateful for Jeff's contributions over the years. Please see a personal note from Jeff below. I am leaving Blizzard Entertainment after 19 amazing years. It was truly the honor of a lifetime to have the opportunity to create worlds and heroes for such a passionate audience. I want to express my deep appreciation to everyone at Blizzard who supported our games and our teams and our players. But I want to say a special thanks to the wonderful game developers that shared in the journey of creation with me. Never accept the world as it appears to be. Always dare to see it for what it could be. I hope you do the same. GG, Jeffrey Kaplan. You'll hear more from Aaron and the rest of the Overwatch team soon. In the meantime, please join us in thanking Jeff and in welcoming Aaron into his new role.
So where's Jeff going?
Doesn't say.
What are the odds that he joins Firewalk?
What are the odds that he just goes and makes a new company and then we get another article on a PlayStation blog about Jeff Kaplan's new studio?
Oh yeah, that could happen too.
This is sad because Jeff has been the face of Overwatch since its inception. It's always been, every time we get a developer update, it's always Jeff. And we always get the same, Jeff shows up, the camera opens. Hi, everyone, this is Jeff from the Overwatch team. And it's no longer going to be Jeff from the Overwatch team. It's sad. And he's been there forever. And I think that the major issue here is that he is leaving Blizzard. And that he is not the only senior Blizzard person that has left Blizzard over the last couple of years. There's been a mass exodus, basically, of late career Blizzard people. And I think that it's pretty easy to see that that's Activision's fault.
Yeah.
What else would it be? Like, these people have been there forever. And it could just be, they want to do something new. That could always be the case.
Oh, yeah.
But as everyone likes to do, we like to assume things and read into situations. And I think that, over the years, Activision has definitely inserted its influence into Blizzard's products. I think the only reason we're getting Overwatch 2 is because Activision wanted it to begin with. Because they want to sell another game. I don't know if there was like a straw that broke the camel's back here, where Jeff was asleep, woke up one morning and was like, no. Or if this had been planned for a while, I don't know. It's sad though.
Yeah. I mean, this is a dumb way of thinking, but I would imagine that it wasn't planned for a while because, like, I don't know, 20 is such a nice round number. Why wouldn't you wait until 20? Like, you're at 19. You could just... 20 seems like an appropriate time to be like, okay, I am done. I have done 20 years, 2 decades. I am ready to do something else.
Also,
19, it's like, what, stopping a year early?
Yeah, the other thing is Overwatch 2. Like,
yeah.
I would think that he wanted to ship that game and then be done.
Yeah, for sure. Have that be his swan song.
Sure. Especially a product that he's put the last, almost 10 years of his life into. Like, Overwatch has been Jeff's life for 10 years. And I don't know. Like, as he leaves, as a hardcore Overwatch player, as part of the community that they're speaking about here, to me, it feels like we're losing something because he had such a huge influence on the game. He was the game director. He was the creative director of the game, obviously. He influenced a lot of how, like, the gameplay and game development philosophy worked with that. And with Overwatch, with it being a multiplayer game and with there not being a dedicated, like, story mode, you could see Jeff's influence in like all of the lore, like all of that,
Sure.
just like world that they built. Because when I think about video game worlds, even though there isn't a campaign, Overwatch's world is one of the most like complex and interesting video game worlds that exist. And it's weird because again, there's not a campaign there for us to really dig into yet.
Yeah.
But with all of the backstory, all of the comics that they've written, all of the short stories that they've published, like just the character interactions in the game, like there's so much there. And to be able to do that without a story mode, and to
It's
be
so
able to,
strange.
it's so weird. And it's such a like a monumental feat for them to be able to have like done that, to create these characters that are so iconic that like, I don't know. It's really, really, like he was integral to the game, and it's sad that he's leaving because he was such a big part of all of that.
Yes.
But with that said, obviously, like Aaron has been with the team. I mean, he's only been there 1 year less than Jeff has. He's been there for 18 years. Aaron, I think.
Forget.
Aaron Keller. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's been there for only 1 less year than Jeff has. So it's not like we're losing that much.
He's a young blood.
But
new guy comes in. He's only been here for a year, and he's gonna make all these changes.
right, it's a different situation than like I don't know. Overwatch has been around for 5 years with a live game. The world has been around a lot longer than that. I think that it's pretty safe to say that people understand how to take care of that property. I would hope that people know how to take care of that property.
I would hope as well. Yes.
I don't think that Jeff leaving is going to impact Overwatch 2 or the quality of Overwatch 2 or the quality of Overwatch in like just period.
Sure.
I think eventually though we will like miss that, like it's going to be almost indescribable because it's like, you know how man, it's almost like a chef. I don't. What is? There's like, it was Futurama. There's some show where like some character was trying to learn how to cook or whatever, and then like somebody gives them a little vial of like secret ingredient or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like a little bit of salt or whatever, but it's like you have to use this to make it taste really good. And it's just like,
yeah.
Jeff Kaplan was the secret ingredient.
What was that? It was water.
Yeah.
It was drops of water.
It was.
They were like, oh, this is the secret ingredient. It might have been Futurama because Bender had his whole thing where he was trying to learn how to cook. That might have been maybe it was Futurama.
I can't. You know exactly what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Like Jeff was able to create those amazing dishes by like this game is his, his work. Yeah. And I think that we're gonna miss that secret ingredient that he had at some point, or we might get a little bit of a diminished product eventually because that magic's not going to be there. His magic's not going to be there. I do think that in the long term though, like other people are going to step up to the plate. We're talking Blizzard is still Blizzard. I think that like working for Blizzard still means something. Is it what it was 10 years ago? No. But
it's still prestigious.
For sure. So, and like, I don't know, like the new blood that they get in, love that game. Like, I love that game. Like, they're fans of the game. They know how to take care of the game because they are fans of that game. So, I'm not worried. It's just sad.
It's the same concept of, I forget where I read it, and I don't know if it was like formal article or just like a blog post on some fan site or something, but the same thing happened whenever like with the Zelda series, where it was like the kids who grew up playing the Zelda series are now the ones who are making the games. And you've seen that in some of the changes where it's like, okay, you no longer have to find the compass or the map. Like in Dungeons, you just start with it now. And it's because they played it and they were fucking annoyed that they had to go and find these two useless, well, I say useless, they were helpful, but like these two items that could either be combined into one or you could just have from the start. But yeah, you have the people who actually grew up with the game now making the choices for the game. So that's usually a good thing.
For sure. Pour one out for Jeff, for Papa Jeff. Go watch his Yule log. That's about it. I'm excited to see. I don't think he's done with the games industry. I think he'll pop back
Probably
up.
not.
I'm interested to see where he pops back up. I'm sure he's got like a million phone calls right now. He has so many messages, so many emails trying to get him for whatever.
Literally anything. Just
yeah.
His name. Please just attach it to our project.
What would that be like? Like if you just decide to quit your job today. And like I'm just hi, university I've worked for 5 years, I'm not going to quit. I'm done. And then just like a bunch of people start calling you, like who would call me? No one would call me.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's that like? What's that like to be like so sought after?
To be wanted.
Yeah.
Professionally.
The vast majority of people, you know, I forget what the statistic is, but like on average, people submit like 20 resumes before they get a call back for an interview or whatever.
Yeah.
And like of whatever interviews they get, only, you know, one of them offers the job. It's a crazy statistic, but that's not the case for someone like Jeff Kaplan.
No, if you establish yourself as like an industry leader, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to job hunt anymore. The jobs will literally hunt you.
In Poland. Jobs hunt you. And also you can get your PlayStation Plus Sony movies.
You can watch some weird ass stuff. I don't know what it is, but here it is.
Next article also comes from gamesindustry.biz. Mr. Brendan Sinclair writes, Discord ends acquisition talks with Microsoft. That's
Thank
really
God.
it. I don't need to read the article. Discord is not interested in Microsoft. They are interested in continuing to be independent, possibly becoming a publicly traded company. And they might at some point in the future be open to more talks. But for the foreseeable future, they have shut down that.
We're safe.
We're safe. Microsoft cannot buy Discord currently.
Buy it and break it. Fix Teams, Microsoft.
For real.
You have a thing.
You have a thing already. You have multiple things.
You have Skype too, I think.
You do. But they're kind of retiring Skype for Teams. They're like trying to force everybody onto Teams to get away from Skype.
And then they were going to force everybody to go away from Teams to go to Discord.
Go to Discord, yeah. Just pick a thing. Just pick one thing and stay with it.
Pick it, stay with it, grow it.
God.
Keep it real, department.
Please. However, that being said, Discord, please create integrations for Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, please.
I would love to be able to log into Discord on PlayStation. That would be fucking the best thing ever.
Yeah. I would be ecstatic to be able to use a third-party chat system to talk to basically anybody I want and not be restricted.
Yeah. It just takes a step out. Like, I don't want to have to use my phone or my tablet while I'm playing games.
Yeah. Don't approach Nintendo. You're just going to get a headache.
That would be such... Can you imagine? The company that fucking created a phone app for their own fucking native goddamn party chat system. They would be the first ones to integrate Discord.
You know, that sounds about right.
Last two little quick updates. CD Projekt Red refunded around 30,000
son of a bitch.
Cyberpunk 2077 copies.
30,000? How many did they sell?
30,000. They sold 13 million.
So
that is, I did the math. That is 0.02. Wait. It's 0.002%. So it's 0.2% of their
sales. So it's 0.2% of a percent. Oh, no, you're right.
No,
it's 0.2%. Yeah.
Yes. Of the total sales that they made.
Yes.
So nothing.
Yes.
Basically nothing.
Pennies.
13.7 million. So even less than that. 13.7 million. They made some ridiculous amount of money.
A gross number. Yes.
I don't want to read this whole article because it's basically nothing. They sold 13.7 million units in 2020 even. We're not even talking about since 2021 started, and it's been 4 months.
And spoiler alert, all of those were at full $59.99 retail prices. Or higher in other countries.
Just goes to show you that nothing matters. No amount of like disdain or anger matters. Because you know what? Even if they don't fix Cyberpunk, when The Witcher 4 comes out, people are going to buy that game regardless.
Everyone will forget. Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter. Some other interesting nuggets is that they're planning on the next gen versions of Cyberpunk coming out in second half of 2021.
You fuckers.
We'll see if that happens. And the breakdown of Cyberpunk being sold, more than half of the copies sold were on PC and Stadia. So 56% of Cyberpunk copies were sold on PC and Stadia.
So 56% of Cyberpunk copies were very broken but played.
Yes. Followed by PlayStation 4 at 28% and Xbox One at 17%. Now, how long was Cyberpunk on the PlayStation Store? 2 weeks? If that? It sold 28%. How many copies is that? What's 28% of 3.7 million?
Wait, 3.7 or 13.7?
13.7. What did I say, 3? Yeah, 13.7. Yeah.
That is 3,836,000 copies.
Which they sold in like less than a week, basically.
Yeah.
On PlayStation 4. And then, God. I guess that doesn't count physical copies. I guess you could theoretically still go into Walmart and buy a physical copy of Cyberpunk if you wanted to.
For those keeping track at home, that's $230 million. And some change.
They don't give a shit. And now, like, it's every time they come up and we talk about, oh, they need to do this, they need to do that. At the end of the day, they don't need to fucking do anything because it doesn't matter.
Nope. They have the money.
That's all they care about.
They have most likely about, oh God, this is a big number. Where do the commas go? Oh, I deleted it. Oh no.
All they care about is that they have the money and that PlayStation Plus is going to offer Sony movies to the Polish population.
This is a ballpark amount, but they probably made, not taking out the however much they had to refund, they made about almost $822 million.
Oh, just casually. That's fine.
You said that they had to like refund about $13 million worth with that 0.2%. Was that right?
Oh, I don't think I said it.
You didn't do that math.
It was 30,000 copies of the game. So 30,000 times 60.
Oh, they just had to return like $1.8 million.
Oh, nothing. Just $1 million.
Literally, okay, perfect. It works out. They made basically $820 million.
Oh, man. Looks like all that activism worked for fucking these bastards. Okay.
Son of a bitch.
You want to be even more angry, John?
Sure, why not?
So you read that article a few weeks ago about GameStop CEO dropping out this summer. He's gonna quit this summer, move on from the company. No. GameStop CEO.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
George
right.
Sherman.
The guy you conspiracy theory tin hatted him, and you were like, he was the one who made the Reddit stocks go crazy.
Right. So
because he got stocks and shares of the company for.
He sure did.
Yeah.
He got a lot of them, right? He's leaving he's stepping down July 31st. He's reported to receive a $179 million windfall because of the GameStop stock surge.
Wow. That's a nice little bonus.
Isn't it? He comes in, he's there for like less than a year or whatever, and he's like, peace out. I came in, I got all this stuff, and now it's time to leave. The rich just keep getting richer, John.
Yep.
Unbelievable. GameStop's shares closed yesterday at $158.51.
Jesus.
In the past 52 weeks, they reached a low of $3.77. I'm going to break it to all y'all. GameStop is not worth $158 a share. It's still inflated because some assholes on Reddit are choosing to continue to be assholes. And that's how this dude is going to leave his company after less than a year of work and earn $180 million for doing nothing.
Literally nothing. Nothing has changed at GameStop. Not a damn thing. You go in the store, it is still sad.
You hate to see it.
Oh boy.
That's all I got though. That was the last little story that I had to share. Did we miss anything?
Not really. There's a couple cool little Kickstarters going on right now. There always are, but like I can never find games on Kickstarter that I actually want to see happen. Like usually whenever I see them, I'm like, I don't care about this. But there's a couple that have actually piqued my interest. So one of them has been fully funded. One of them is in like pre-release. It's not even on Kickstarter yet technically. And then another one is closing in 6 days and it's like 80% funded. So cool stuff on Kickstarter. Go check it out.
I'll plug a Kickstarter too, actually.
Oh, okay. What I should probably name the names. The one is forget if it's Crosorn. I'll search it real quick. One is called Lone Fungus. That's the one that's almost 80. It's a little past 80%. Looks like a Hollow Knight Celeste hybrid, which I'm really stoked for. And one is called Unbeatable, which looks insane. Did you check it out?
Mm-hmm.
It's like an anime 90s style rhythm game. And they were fully funded in like 15 hours. Like they are they're going into crazy stretch goals at this point because people just want this game. And if you look up the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. The fuck was Crowsworn. Crowsworn is the one that is not quite out yet, but also it kind of looks like Hollow Knight, but maybe a Bloodborne vibe instead. Like it's got the plague doctor mask kind of character as the main character, and he's got a scythe and then like 2 big ass revolvers for distance. But it looks very, very Hollow Knight-y, whereas the other one was a little more graphically like Celeste.
Sure.
A little simpler.
The Kickstarter I have is not for a game. It's for a TV show.
Are you kickstarting it?
No, it's not for mine. It is for...
No, I mean, like, are you supporting it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite shows of all time, Mystery Science Theater 3000, is coming back to Kickstarter again after they were canceled on Netflix to fund a 13th season, and they've reached their first goal already.
Holy shit, they're 165% funded.
Yeah, so as of right now, 165. What did they reach the 3.31 yet?
They're very close. They're at 3,304,000.
So when they reach their goal, they receive enough money to create basically a platform to continue making MST3K indefinitely, like basically an indie version of MST3K without having to go through studios and stuff. And they've committed to 3 new episodes. If you raise this next goal, which they should hit either tonight or tomorrow probably, will be 6 episodes. And then if they reach, I think 6.6 is their like last goal. That's a full 12 episode 13th season. But yeah, MST3K is a show that I really love and I want to see continue. They if they reach this next goal, they're going to create some apps for the thing they're making. So hopefully it'll be a lot easier, because I mean, they've already done a good job of like putting that in a lot of places. They have a Twitch channel that streams it 24 hours a day. There's some other places you can watch some stuff, but basically if they're trying to put together a way to have that show like last in perpetuity essentially. So,
yeah. It looks like It looks like it was 3.3 million on like not 3.31. So they should be good on that one.
Okay. So
there's another goal for 4.4 to do twice as many live specials events.
Yeah, there's 2 more stretch goals, I think. It's 4.1 and 6 something, I thought. But
I see the 4.4. I'm on the Kickstarter page right now.
Okay. But yeah, that's a property that's very important to me. So if you like MSG3K, throw them a few bucks.
Do it. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
For sure. I think that's it. You got anything else?
No, that's about it.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Quick Time Event Podcast. If you like what you heard, you can find this podcast live on twitch.tv/QTE Plays every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also find it live on all of your, not live, I guess, but you can find it on all of your favorite podcast services shortly after the live show ends, and on YouTube. It's so
crazy that we're always live.
We're always live.
Regardless of when you're listening.
For sure.
This is live to your ears.
You can also find the podcast on YouTube as in its entirety and broken up topic by topic, day by day. Join us, at least me, join me on Saturday as I play Fall Guys. I will be here.
I'll be there. I don't know if I'll like what we want to do, if I'll just be in the Twitch chat or what.
Whatever you want to do. I might be a little bit distracting if I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to be the reason why you lose.
This is weird. This is a weird one because it's like I'm legitimately trying. This is not just like a fun thing. It's like there's money on the line.
But maybe you gotta not try as hard.
That's true. I mean, with
like
Fall
if you
Guys,
try too hard, you're gonna get in your head and you're gonna get pissed.
Yes. You gotta find the line. There's a line you have to walk. But I'll be here on Saturday streaming Fall Guys.
You just gotta take a single shot before you start. Just enough to take the edge off, but not enough so that you're like you lose your motor skills.
Right. Extra Life United is this Saturday I'm going to go live at 3 p.m. The actual tournament takes place from 4 to 7 p.m. So I'll be on 3 to 7. And then if all goes well, I'll be back on Sunday for more Fall Guys. Then join us next week on Tuesday for the Quick Time Event podcast. For Quick Time Event Plays Persona 4 Golden before we get it all over again after that.
All right. I'm going to be very upset on Tuesday, probably. I suspect. I don't like where things are going in the game right now.
We're getting to the end game of Persona 4 Golden, and there's some... John has some ideas about what might happen coming up, and we'll see what happens. I know what happens.
I have a lot of ideas, and I don't like any of them.
The super fun times are kind of done. There's a couple more like fun time events, but we're in the thick of it now.
Yeah.
So join us for that on Tuesday. Anything else for the good of the order?
That's it.
All right. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. I hope to see you this week for Extra Life and beyond.
Peace out.
Bye, friends.